What is happening at J Game Dude here? And Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is releasing on Game Pass. And it could potentially increase the Game Pass numbers of subscribers by a lot. But ultimately, at what cost? And that is a very, very good question to ask. That's always been on the minds of people looking at the industry, looking at Game Pass, what kind of damage it's doing to the industry overall, with now the whole subscription model in every single place you could find, from places like PlayStation Plus's rebrand to Ubisoft and EA having their own thing. And then you've got stuff like Apple Arcade. Some companies might be doing it better than others, but it seems ultimate that, Microsoft Game Pass did pave the way, both for better and for worse in exactly the same capacity. So let's actually talk about it. But before I get into details, just want to say, hey, if you like my videos, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment below. My channel is finally getting out of the gulag, so continuing to do those things will certainly help the channel. So did just want to thank everyone who has been supporting the channel. Without you guys, I would not be here where I am right now, talking to you guys, being a lot more confident, being able to release more videos, and just talk about the news in general. So I cannot thank you guys enough. With all of that being said, however, let's talk Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Game Pass. So potentially, thanks to industry analysts, they're thinking that potentially, Game Pass numbers could go up by another 4 million subs, but not being able to sell the game to those people. Because worth keeping in mind that when it comes to Game Pass, people on the Microsoft side are already in a position where they're conditioned to think that, hey, rather than buying the game, I'm just going to wait for the game to come to Game Pass. Because why would I ever want to buy the game? And game ownership has already been a pretty rocky road so far. So I'm not going to lean too much into that, but just wanted to say that generally right now, when you look at the Xbox gaming space, people are championing Game Pass while not buying games. Rather it be physically or digitally, it really doesn't matter. People are just not paying as much to put back into the industry. Following Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Call of Duty mega Activision Blizzard, the pressure is now on for its gaming business to deliver. With that in mind, Xbox boss Phil Spencer has decided to take the plunge and release the game on Black Ops 6 as a day one Game Pass game, albeit restricted to Ultimate and PC Game Pass tiers. Now, worth keeping in mind that previously we had the Xbox game tiers being Xbox Game Pass Core, which used to be games with gold, Game Pass for console, which included day one games, Game Pass Ultimate, which included day one games, and PC, which also included day one games. Now that has since shifted, where now we have Game Pass Core, that is just a rebrand of games with gold, so no day one games. They've removed Game Pass for console in favor of Game Pass Standard, which does not include day one games and is more expensive. Then you have Game Pass with PC, which does include day one games and is slightly more expensive. And then you have Game Pass Ultimate, which is also slightly more expensive while including day one games. And during the release of Black Ops 6, and I want to say it was Starfield, they did remove any sort of trial period of Game Pass as well. So worth keeping that in mind. And whether or not Black Ops 6 was going to be on Game Pass or not really just depended on what Xbox's strategy was going to be. Some people on the internet are going to say it was pretty bloody obvious that was going to happen. But when you look at and think about the situation as a whole, what Game Pass has done for Xbox, where Xbox is at, what the general consensus is around the standing of Xbox, Game Pass, and the first party titles that are being released under the Xbox umbrella, console sales, it's not quite as simple when you look at things from a holistic point of view. There is a lot of nuance going on, and I don't think people are capable of that type of conversation, but hey, it's the internet, that's just kind of where we are. So this is a momentous occasion for Call of Duty, not just for Game Pass, which has struggled for growth in recent years. Fair to say that Game Pass numbers did actually flatline to a decent extent, and this may very well increase the number. But will it increase the number enough? I do not believe so. Latest figures put Game Pass subscribers at 34 million. That's 34 million playing across console, PC, and cloud, and keeping in mind cloud only available on Ultimate. Indeed, Microsoft's removal of its $1 introductory Game Pass trial just weeks before Black Ops 6's launch, as it did with last year's Starfield, further evidence after the price hikes and tier changes that the pressure is now on for Game Pass to make the absolute most of Call of Duty. And that, I think this is what I was talking about before, the $1 introductory offer. So they did in fact remove it. Will it pay off for Microsoft? In interviews with GameIndustry.biz, analysts predicted that Black Ops 6 could boost Game Pass subscriber numbers by between 2.5 to 4 mil. However, analysts also predicted a significant impact on Blob 6's impact on their sales. And it's a negative impact at that they're obviously talking about, because usually Call of Duty is the best selling game of the year, but now there's a big question mark over whether or not Black Ops 6 is going to be able to sell as much as other games in the past. Wedbush boss Michael Patcher told Game Industry that putting Black Ops 6 into Game Pass could result in 6 million lost sales. Now the question, okay, this is pretty much what's going to happen is, okay, so actually I'll finish reading this. Based on the idea that 25% of Game Pass subscribers that may have been bought through their game anyways, countering this, Patches said Game Pass could swell by between 3 or 4 million subscribers. Now, will the increase of Game Pass subscribers actually counteract the lost sales? Because while the sales have been lost, microtransactions are still going to go to, every single microtransaction will still go to Microsoft if it relates to Black Ops 6. Also keeping in mind that all Black Ops 6 sales outside of Xbox will also be contributing to the sales of the game, because obviously it is the game. But on top of that as well, only 8% of gamers who play Call of Duty actually play on Xbox, which is a fairly low amount compared to the gargantuan numbers that you see on the PlayStation and PC side. There was a report about that a while ago. Not something that I'm able to bring up immediately because I couldn't find it as far as I could tell, but that was something that was discussed previously. So I would say with that 8% number that I've given, you can just completely disregard that if you want to, but there was some discussion to that extent previously. So we'll kind of, I guess, just consider that it doesn't exist. But the idea is that you want people to be on Game Pass and then to stay on Game Pass. People will jump on Game Pass for Call of Duty, but how many people are then going to also then jump off of Game Pass? It could increase a decent swell increase, but what does the downturn look like on that? What does the decrease look like? It's just something that I've kind of thought about, because as we all know with the phrase, as things up, sometimes things that go up need to come down, and there is that element to it as well. But continuing on with the article, this is a perhaps expected shift, but is it overall better for Microsoft and Activision? The theory is that getting more players through the door than ever before, even at the cost of the sales of the game, will eventually pay out, because Call of Duty's lucrative live service, this is where the microtransactions I was talking about comes in, which is fueled by premium battle passes and costly cosmetic packs. Microsoft may be playing the long game here, even though it risks negative headlines about Call of Duty sales being down compared to previous years. Of course, Microsoft has taken the plunge with Call of Duty. Little is off the table when it comes to Game Pass. Keeping in mind, there is also the thing about Project Latitude happening within Microsoft, where Microsoft is telling Xbox there is no red tape on what games can or can't go to other platforms as well, and that is ultimately going to benefit Microsoft and Xbox as a whole as well. The expectation now is that each year's premium Call of Duty game will launch day one on Game Pass, and fans will still be waiting for the back catalog to be added, which is very true, because now the expectation has been set. Will you every year continue to have Game Pass in order to play Call of Duty? How many more Call of Duties are actually going to be released on rival platforms moving forward? what does any of this really even mean ultimately in the end for Call of Duty, for Microsoft? Is this bet gonna pay off in the end? We do not know. We can only guess, we can only extrapolate. We don't have exact numbers yet. This year is going to very much tell the tale of what Microsoft and Call of Duty are going to look like moving forward. But with all that being said, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 400 subs, hopefully in the not too distant future, and hopefully, you know, more people again start to watch my videos outside of the subscribers that I've already got. But with all that being said, I do very much enjoy that you guys have been liking, subscribing to the channel, liking the videos, commenting as well. So I just want to thank everyone for that. And with all of that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.